All right, we got a key race alert right now. 23% of the estimated vote now in, and Bernie Sanders maintains his lead with 27.7%. Pete Buttigieg in second place, 23.1%. Amy Klobuchar third, 20.4%. Elizabeth Warren, she's down at only 9.4%. In fourth place, Joe Biden in fifth place, 8.7%. The other candidates round out the field, not doing very well right now. Let's check in with David Chalian. David, some fascinating exit poll numbers you're going through.
That's right, Wolf. Some key components of the electorate and how they split themselves among the candidates. Moderate voters. These are people telling us they describe themselves as moderate, voting in the Democratic primary. They made up 35% of the electorate today. That's 8 points more than it was 4 years ago. This is a more moderate electorate. This is why Klobuchar and Buttigieg are doing well. She gets 29% of this group, moderates. Buttigieg gets 25%. Sanders at 16%. And look at this. Joe Biden, all through 2019, moderates were a key part of his strength. He's down at 12% among moderates. Look at the very liberal crowd. Something very instructive here as well. They make up 19% of the electorate, and that is down 7 points from 4 years ago. So it's a smaller pie. Now, it's a huge Sanders category. I mean, they are powering him in the lead right now. He's winning them by 30 points, 48% to 18% over Elizabeth Warren. These two were battling over the very liberal crowd for much of the summer and the fall. Sanders is winning it going away, and that explains Warren's fade here as well. Take a look at age. It's so significant in this race. Among the older voters, 65 and older, look at Amy Klobuchar here. This is a key strength for her. She's winning 35% of seniors. They make up 27% of the electorate. Buttigieg is next at 22%. And younger voters. You know that is a Bernie Sanders strength, and we see it again. He is overwhelmingly popular with the younger voters. He gets 53% of them. Buttigieg is next at 18%, but it's not a huge share. Only 12% of the electorate, Wolf, is in that 18 to 29 category. So Sanders wins some categories by a lot, but they're smaller slices of the electorate, and that's what's keeping it a relatively close three-way race.
That's what you're absolutely right. And John King, 25%, a quarter of the vote is now in. That's a significant number, and it's been very consistent. Bernie Sanders in first place, Pete Buttigieg in second place, Amy Klobuchar in third place.
And when we look at the results, as we keep counting the votes, one of the things to look at is the math. Who's winning and by what margin. The other thing is to the point David Chalian just made. As this race goes on, Amy Klobuchar is going to say, hey, look how I'm performing among older voters. If we went back in time, we thought that would be Joe Biden's wheelhouse. Doesn't mean one state makes a difference. We're still counting votes tonight, but candidates will try to spin that. The point he made about younger voters, Bernie Sanders base, but did Senator Sanders have a problem turning them out tonight? Is that why this margin is relatively close? These are the conversations that will come after we do the math. As we go through the math, you're seeing more fill in. We're up to 25%. And again, in the places where you have larger population, no big cities in New Hampshire, but Concord, Klobuchar was ahead earlier. Senator Sanders has pulled ahead. We're up to 60% there as the vote comes in reasonably quickly in New Hampshire tonight. You come down here. This is Bedford. It's a small suburb of Manchester. 100% for Klobuchar. Come in here again, 67% in Manchester. This is where, again, in 2008, Hillary Clinton came back here, and in Nashua late in the night, Obama was ahead early on. Gritty, blue collar. Senator Sanders will be proud of those numbers there, although there will be a debate about the margins. One of the things we can go back and look at here as we come through this, number one, how is Senator Sanders doing in the places he ran strong a long time ago? And you see some competition. This lighter gray and the ones that are filled in are places Sanders won last time by healthy margins. Mayor Buttigieg giving him a run in some of those townships. So that's one thing to watch as we go forward. Again, even if Sanders wins, there'll be a conversation. Is he as strong as he was 4 years ago? And some of that was a protest vote, to be fair to him. Other things you want to look at as you come through here. Just want to look here just to see if there's a distinction here. Turn this one off. These are townships that voted twice for Barack Obama and then flipped and voted for Donald Trump, especially the Buttigieg campaign. But all of the Democrats are trying to prove I'm the toughest against Trump. One of the ways you do that is, these are only Democrats. It's a Democratic primary. But you get bragging rights by performing in those places. Bit of a split here. Sanders winning the most of them. Buttigieg winning some there. Just come out and to look at some other things we can look at in the math here. Let's just see. These are the highest townships with the highest education. Bernie Sanders here. Amy Klobuchar there. And let me just pull that back out. Switch it to the least. Where you have high school degrees, you see Senator Sanders there. Again, the competition for blue-collar votes, people who high school education, lack college degrees there. And just one more thing I want to do to come out here. I talked about this earlier in the night. There are 6 bellwether townships that have predicted the winner every time as we go through. Let me turn this one off down the bottom here. And right now, Sanders is leading. Buttigieg is leading in one of those townships. That's Laconia. Senator Sanders is leading down here in Epping. So one of the things that might happen tonight is we get a New Hampshire winner. If this holds up as we count through the votes, a streak of at least one of these townships could be broken.
You know, what's interesting, they're all fighting for delegates to go to the Democratic convention in July in Milwaukee, but you need 15% of the vote in order to get a delegate or two or three. And right now, only the top three candidates with 30% of the vote are above that 15% threshold.
And again, it's the second state on the calendar, so you don't want to make too much of anything. But one of the points, bragging rights, is you need convention delegates. Sanders is in this for the long haul. He has a campaign organization just about everywhere. He can raise money organically. He's going to get delegates tonight. The two Midwesterners coming into New Hampshire, performing reasonably well. We'll see we're at 30%. We'll see if the numbers hold up. They will get delegates. This is, again, Massachusetts Senator and progressive icon Elizabeth Warren, former Vice President of the United States Joe Biden, from the neighborhood, very well known, had a very strong summer, was running strong. People are going to ask, how did that happen? Vice President Biden, you could feel it this weekend. Some of his votes going to Klobuchar, going to Buttigieg, not going to get delegates. So that you can say, I'm going to fight on in South Carolina, I'm going to fight on in Nevada, I'm going to fight on Super Tuesday. But one of the ways you convince people, stay with me, help me rebound, help me fight back, is to say you're in the chase. It's only one contest, but they're so well known that if those numbers hold up and they come out of the state without any delegates, that's beyond a big disappointment.
Yeah, 30% of the vote is now in. All right, we're going to get more numbers, and I'm impressed that New Hampshire, the numbers are coming in fairly quickly. What a difference a week makes. We'll be right back.